Hey, Cannes Film Festival. What's up? It's a culture detective here investigating your favorite movies. And yeah, it's been a while. It's been about 17, maybe 18 days since I've uploaded the video to my YouTube channel. And yesterday, I just came back from France because I was at the Cannes Film Festival. This is a merch I got. It's a little espresso cup. I don't even drink espresso, so I don't know why I got this. But yeah, so Cannes Film Festival. I watched a total of 32 films, and my brain is absolutely destroyed. I am so tired, I am so sleepy and so hungry, and I can't wait to just sleep. But, anyways, I also have a lot of movies to review, and one of the films I saw at the Cannes Film Festival is the new Mission Impossible film, The Final Reckoning. So, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning is the eighth and supposedly the final film in the Mission Impossible franchise. And it's absolutely insane to me that the first time I ever watched Mission Impossible, I was a child and I watched it on a TV in Hong Kong. And I had no idea that many years later, I would watch the final Mission Impossible film in the Cannes Film Festival. And yeah, just that alone is an incredible feat, in my opinion. Now, I was unable to watch The Final Reckoning in its world premiere because the tickets were just impossible for me to get. If you don't know this, to put it simply, in Cannes Film Festival, people are placed into different tiers. You have the industry, the press, and then you have the cinephiles. And I'm a cinephile, which means I do not have the priority to reserve tickets for movies. But if you are a filmmaker or if you work in the industry, then you do have the priority, which means you do get to reserve tickets for the films. So I don't, unfortunately, but I was still able to watch the second screening of this film in the entire festival in the next morning. Also, there's a helicopter just swirling around this apartment. Maybe Tom Cruise is on it. I don't know. I'm used to this. So, anyways, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning is the eighth film in the franchise, also the part two to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I don't know why. I feel like when I watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, it's called Dead Reckoning Part 1. And I thought the next film would be Dead Reckoning Part 2. But anyways, it's called The Final Reckoning now. And yeah, to give you a quick overview on how I feel about Mission Impossible, I think it's a great franchise. I really love that essentially Brian De Palma with the first Mission Impossible revived a 1950s or 1960s TV show and turned it to a blood pumping, adrenaline rushing action film with a lot of really cool details, a lot of really well thought out action set pieces. The third film with Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing, but my personal favorite is the fourth movie in the franchise. Ghost Protocol, directed by Brad Bird, is my favorite out of the entire franchise. I thought every single beat, every single story beat, every single action sequence is just fantastic, just banger after banger. The next one, Rogue Nation, I thought was pretty good. Fallout, I also think it's pretty good, but it is apparently a huge fan favorite, and I could totally see why. Now, from what you can see from the fourth film, Ghost Protocol, fifth film, Rogue Nation, sixth film, Fallout, it looks like Mission Impossible is only going to get better and better and better. But unfortunately, that's not really the case. A couple years ago, or I believe last year, we have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And honestly, even though a lot of people seem like they enjoyed it, I personally thought it is nowhere near as interesting or as exciting as the earlier Mission Impossible films. Because instead of focusing on what makes Mission Impossible so damn good in the first place, the new Mission Impossible movies only focus on the big blockbuster epic spectacle aspect of it, which is not what makes the original so damn charming. Where are the mind games? Where's the weird technology? Where are the twists and the turns? I feel like the new Mission Impossible movies, especially The Final Reckoning, kinda forgot what made Mission Impossible so much fun. The first few Mission Impossible the first few Mission Impossible movies all have really interesting locations, especially Ghost Protocol. You know, if you can recall, they went to Dubai, Tom Cruise climbed the friggin' Burj Khalifa. They really make use of the locations. The new Mission Impossible movie, Final Reckoning, has really boring locations. We have the American government place, and then we have a submarine, and then we have the sky on some mountains, and that's it. Even Dead Reckoning had more interesting locations with Paris and London and all that stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately, the locations and the story are already immediately more boring than the previous Mission Impossible movies. Now, I do have to admit the premise is interesting. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning are two films where the villain is an AI, and it is extremely topical because right now in 2025, the world is dealing with AI becoming more and more powerful, and I think an action epic about AI being the villain is actually really topical, and it's so unfortunate that there's a lot of wasted potential in this amazing premise. The characters are okay. I mean, Simon Pegg is really cool, but I feel like he didn't do much in this movie. Palm Clementif's character is hideous. It's like they don't even know what to do with her in this movie. She's just sticking around and does nothing other than saying the dumbest one-liners ever. Like there are so many moments where the characters are in a really bad, intense situation, and somebody would say, "Oh, one of you must stay behind to defuse the bomb, but you won't make it out alive, and one of you must run for your life." And then Palm Clementif would go, "One live, one dies." Who wrote this script? The first hour of this movie is just nothing but exposition. The first 10 minutes of this movie is just the Madam President recapping the entire franchise, and it is such a lazy and an uninspired way to open off a movie, let alone the final movie in this franchise. And there's so many scenes in the entire movie where it would just be 10 characters sitting around completing each other's sentences. Like, first, we must retrieve the key in order to unlock the box. Then, we open the box, and then we put the box in another box. Let me guess. We take that other box and bring it to Paris, and in Paris, we find that one other guy and tell that other guy to find another woman. Well, yeah, of course, and then that other woman is going to tell us the code, and we need the code to do this thing and do that other thing. And there's so many scenes where it's just characters telling each other exposition. And I can forgive this movie if this type of scene only happens once, but this type of scene happens like 8 times in this movie. It's so absolutely annoying. Now, the last 2 hours of this movie are okay. The submarine scene is easily the best scene of the entire film. And then the final plane fight was also pretty cool, but honestly, this is the last action sequence in the entire franchise. I feel like they could have done something so much more ambitious for the ending. And finally, I like to say that this movie is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. Somehow, this is the longest film in the entire Cannes Film Festival. And honestly, it doesn't justify its runtime. If you tell me that there is a lot of story in this film, then I'd say, yeah, sure, 3 hours is good. But this film follows a pretty basic three-act structure. There are three action set pieces here, and each set piece is just really long for some reason. So yeah, unfortunately, I did not enjoy The Final Reckoning all that much. This movie's out now. I still encourage everyone to go to the theaters to watch it because we need to support the theatrical experience. And I, for one, am extremely happy that I'm able to see this at the Grand Theatre Lumiere. But aside from that, I'm sorry, but I was thoroughly underwhelmed by this film. I'm giving the new Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning, a strong 5 to a light 6 out of 10. So, have you watched the new Mission Impossible? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. And yeah, more reviews to come. I'll be reviewing The Phoenician Scheme, Eddington, Highest to Lowest, Magellan, Alpha, A Simple Accident, Die My Love, Sound of Falling, Seurat, Renoir, Left-Handed Girl, and Sons of the Neon Knight. Reviews coming soon. Stay tuned.